how to start a small business from scratch. Are you thinking about it and don't know how? Or are you already in the phase of it and could need some additional input? Then stay tuned because we're starting right now. Hi, I'm Oliver, CEIBS Executive MBA and Startup Coach at AskMeStartUp.com. I have been in the startup and coaching life since 2014, and I want to share my insights and know-how gained during that time with you so you can build a better and more profitable business in the future. You can also download our free startup checklist, link in the description below. Now, the first thing when starting a new business from scratch is to think about what is it that you really like to do. What is it that you're good at or that you're better than others? Then think about if there's demand for this product, because without any demand, there will be no business or no business will succeed. Now, you have to be very clear on your vision or your thinking. What is it you like? Because it will be hard. You will need time and effort to put into this, and you can only be good at it when times are rough, when you like what you're doing. If you hate your job or the thing you're doing, you will never do it to satisfaction to your customer. That's why this part is really, really crucial. The second thing you want to do is build up savings for at least 6 months worth of spending. Now, 6 months might seem like a lot at the beginning, but in reality, it's a very, very short amount of time. To give you a perspective, we started our startup back in 2014 with 1.5 years worth of spending. And it was necessary because we were going down a product road. Now, where do you get the spending from, the funding from? Well, very simply, you could ask family and friends. This is actually the number one address I would recommend you go to, because those people are likely to buy into your story, likely to trust you first, and they are likely to hand you over some money. You could also, if you're in urgent need of a large amount of cash, go and ask for a loan at a bank. However, this comes with a big warning. You will have to pay interest on those. They might be high, and you might have to pay back the loan at the most unpleasant time in your business life. So if you're planning to do a bigger thing, then go for investors. Look out for investors that are already available, that you have contact to. You could also look into local government funding opportunities. There might be some local funds or public funds available that will help small businesses to get off the ground. Another opportunity might be that you have a very appealing product or service and that it is so likable to a lot of people that you might go to a crowdfunding platform and ask for some funding there. Whatever you do not aggregate the largest amount of funding you can get, because what actually happens afterwards is you are spending more than you should be spending. So only get as much as you really need, plus a little extra, because there are always going to be uncertainties, and then kick off your startup. The third thing you want to do is make a list of potential angel investors upfront before you really start your business. These are people that are capable and have the potential to invest in your company when you need it. You might be in the phase where you need to scale your startup very fast, very big, because you have so many customers and inquiries and you just don't know where to get and how to get the orders in and out and get the invoices out, etc. At that moment in time, you will not be able to start looking for investors. So be prepared, and once you need to pull that card, you can pull it, and then people are also willing to invest with you because you already have the revenue. So for them, it's an easy thing. They know how much money and what their multiple factor will be at the end. So do this, and you should be safe to go. Now, the fourth thing I can strongly recommend you do is keep your current job. Why am I saying this? Well, you want to have cash flow, especially at the beginning of your small startup, so that you're able to survive the longest period of time possible. Because you never know how long it's going to take until you have the success you were always striving at, right? Or the success you were hoping to get is not coming at the time you're wanting it. There might be right now like a lockdown. What are you going to do, right? Things are changing all the time and you don't know how long things are going to take. That's why keeping your job will keep you afloat, will keep you liquid, and you will not have to think about where do I get my food for tomorrow, because you will always have an income there. Point number 5, you want to decide whether you want to do a service-based or product-based startup. At the beginning, when you were thinking about what you can do better or than anybody else, or have an edge over the competition, you were thinking about maybe some services and or products. Now, both have the pros and cons, so you will have to decide which one is the right thing for you to do. A service is an easy kickoff on the start. So you can offer a service, let's say within a day, let's say writing code if you can, or gardening for somebody, or cleaning houses. I mean, there's so many things that you can offer as a service. And you can then issue the invoices to the customers early and quick. And that way the income should be much quicker than on a product-based platform. A product-based startup usually requires a lot of upfront investment. That upfront investment is needed to buy the product or manufacture the product, or even buy machinery and rooms to manufacture the products. And then this will take time, and the time costs you money. And so it might be, if you're lucky, half a year without any income, but with a lot of expenses. So if you're planning a product-based startup, just think of this, and maybe you want to make sure you have more than 6 months worth of savings, rather 1.5 years as we did. Also keep in mind, whatever you do, regardless of service or product, 88% of successful companies do not have a new product, but they have a better service or product, a better execution of the whole thing. This way they're successful. So whatever you're thinking of, just think of how to be better than the others. That is important. So now you have decided what you want to do, and now it's time for point number 6. And this is design a business plan. This is a step you do not want to skip. This is the most crucial part of your whole endeavor, because a business plan is like a compass. It guides you through rough and even non-rough times, but it gives you a direction. It makes you forced to think of, what am I going to sell? To whom am I going to sell? Why on earth should anybody buy from me? And do I solve a customer's problem? Then how am I going to market it? Which channels am I going to use, right? And how much funding do I need? And what am I planning to do on the expense side? Where's my money going to in the beginning? And then you would also need to define your structure. How many people do I need? How long will I be able to sustain this, let's say, by myself, right? Now, a business plan, if you don't know how to write a business plan, I'm going to link a video up here for you to guide you through that, should be very simply written. I do not recommend to write a very complicated version, but you should have an easy business plan that is clutter-free, nails the things to the point, and that is easy adaptable. To give you a perspective, we in our startup changed our business plan 32 times in 4 years. Because every time you find out something new, you have to adapt. You have an edge now over the competition, and you know more about the field that you're selling in, right? Or servicing in. So this is the right thing to do, is adaptation. And keep in mind, nothing works without a plan, but nothing works according to plan. Now, the 7th thing I can strongly recommend you do is define a core team with qualities other than your own. What I mean by this is the world is complex and wide, and there are so many points of view in this world that you are not capable of getting them all. Usually your personal bias is this way. Even if people say they have 180 or 270, whatever, it doesn't matter. It is your personal perception of things. Somebody with a different cultural background, or a different sex, or a different nationality will have a different perspective on things. This is so great because you can then aggregate everything from everybody and then filter those things out that you all have in common. And these are the core things of your business, and that's why it's so important to build this core team. It does not mean that you will have to have people on the payroll right now. It might be that you have virtual assistants or people as friends or advisors in the back, right? So keep that in mind. You need those people because you want to know more than anybody else, but you can't aggregate everything by yourself. Point number 8. you want to define the business execution. Now, what I mean by this is, how are you going to address your customers? How are you going to sell your product or service? And I don't care how you really do it. I mean, online, offline, that doesn't really matter. But there's one crucial principle. Keep your customers first. Keep your customers first. What do I mean by this? A lot of companies, I would say almost all of them, say, yeah, we have great customer service. We put the customers first. Reality is they put terrible conditions for them, paying conditions, contract conditions, whatever, in a way that customers do not appreciate it. And they just want their money. They just want, you buy my stuff, give me your money. I don't care. The rest, I don't care. This is really bad customer service. And if you can pull it off to get the most outrageous customer service on the planet, people will love you for this. They will come back and they will even spread the words about the greatness of your company. So I haven't seen a single company yet that is failing because of their product, but because of their service. Where reality is they fail also because of their product, but they all usually then also have a very bad customer service. So, but if you have a very good customer service, you can also come up with products that are not 100% perfect because you can do it right. Point number 9. Do not quit your job before you have one big customer or enough small customers to pay you and a second full-time equivalent. What do I mean by this? Well, the reality is that you need to have enough cash flow coming in that company to pay all the expenses, to pay your salary and to pay somebody else's salary. If you just have enough income to pay your own salary, you might be stressed all the time because you're worried that you're not making enough money this month, and that way you're thinking about how do I sell more, but you're not focusing on the strategy on how to execute and how to get more customers on the long run. So short-term thinking is actually enforced by a shortage of cash. That's the reason you want to have big customers. And big customers sometimes can take years to get, right? Because they are slow. I mean, their processes are terrible. That's why I don't personally prefer to work in a large company. But that's up to you. My recommendation is to not do this before you cannot at least pay a second full-time equivalent. Then you're ready to start 100% in your own company, and then by that even scale a business further and faster than you've ever been able to do that before. Point number 10, find a mentor. Find someone who has been down that road that you're going to go. Find someone who has been successful and who's willing to provide input to you. Someone who's willing to push you to your limits. Someone who can help you think and see through the clouds, through the curtain, and see more than you are currently capable of. This is one of the biggest things to be successful in the future, because no matter what, you will have to adapt, you will have to change, and mentors are a great way of pushing you towards the change. So, are you thinking about starting a small business from scratch? If so, what are your biggest pain points? Please leave a comment down below. Thank you very much.